Hi YouTube. So today for dinner I am making chiles rellenos, and these are the only ones I'm making today. It's 2 per adult, and then there's 4 adults because the kids don't eat it. And all I basically do to start, I grab a damp paper towel and I just wipe them off. Oh, hello YouTube. I'm used to making them with the gas stove, but since we moved, we no longer have a gas stove. Once the comal is hot, you can place your chiles, and these are a lot smaller than the ones I usually do, but that's all I had. So I also get a plastic bag and put a little napkin in there. So once the chiles are ready, I put them inside the bag and then I close it up, let them sweat before I peel them. You also need eggs. I would say about an egg per chile. They're not gonna be too perfect because, again, electric stove, not the best to do these on. This is kind of how I have mine look. They're not all there yet, but this is kind of, I don't overdo them because I feel like they get really soggy. So I'm gonna just do a little bit more on this side, but to look like that is your goal. I'm gonna go right ahead and take this one out just like that because it's not gonna get in much more with the comal. So I put it in there and I basically close the bag up. This one's ready. So you basically do all of them like that, and then just let them chill in the bag for about like 10 minutes. Let them sweat up. So all the chiles are done, and they're in this bag. See how the bag's starting to sweat up? So they're all in there. Let them rest for about 15 minutes. That's what I do. I use Monterey Jack cheese for inside of the chiles. A lot of people use queso fresco or other stuff. We've always done Monterey Jack. I've done pepper jack, so it's really optional. So once they chill, you peel them. Take off all the little skin until they're clean. So once you finish cleaning them out, you cut the vein and the seeds, take them out. You do the same thing on all of them. Once they're ready to go, you grab your cheese this way. We use toothpicks to hold them together so the cheese does not come out. So for the eggs, again, I do an egg per chile. So we have 8 chiles, so there's 8 eggs. So I will separate them. I will do the egg whites in here and the egg yolks in here. So on my nails, they have chile everywhere. So again, egg whites in here, egg yolks in here. So you do the same for all the eggs. There's not much else you do right now. This is kind of what you end up. A lot of egg yolks burst. All the egg yolks here, egg whites here, and then you need your electric mixer. I use the egg one, the whisk, and then you'll beat that while you heat up the oil. The oil, I'm gonna add more oil than it already has. So I turn on that like medium to high heat. I turn it on while I start beating. So while that heats up, this fluff is up. And once this is completely done, that you put the bowl over, I'll show you guys, it won't fall off. And then I add the egg yolks to the mix. That's how much oil I ended up adding. It's about that deep. Again, I don't measure much, so the whole spoon pretty much is under the oil. So I'm gonna start whisking now. We're mixing with the hand mixer, egg whites, and then the oil turning on. About there to get going. So once you finish beating the egg, it looks kind of like that. You can pick it up and tilt it over. It won't fall. So once that happens, I beat it for like about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I add the yolk. And then just give it a quick little mix. Here's the end result. It'll be a little runnier once you add the egg yolks. So good to go. So once that is done, you grab the chiles and you just like put them in and soak them. So by the time your eggs are done, your oil should be hot and ready to go. A lot of people put flour on the chiles before they dump them in the egg. I've only done it once. I didn't see a difference, so I never did it again. So I just do chile inside the egg and the oil. That's it. Once they fry on one side, you just flip them over with bean sauce, or like I use these little tong thingies. I don't know what they're called. And this, and you repeat until you're done. So for the caldo, I use onion, tomatoes. I probably add more than 2, and then I do some chiles. I don't fry them with the egg and stuff like a lot of people do. I cut them up and then I throw them inside the jugo, so the caldo's like, it has like the spiciness. So we decided we're being lazy today, so we're putting it in this instead of actually chopping them up. So I roughly cut them up just so it can fit in there, and then I'm gonna like mix that, and then mix the tomatoes, and then mix the jalapeños and the serranos. Boom. And we're done with the onion. So now I'm gonna put everything in one little traste. So if you don't have one of these little things, you can just cut them up. I just chop them like finely, but it doesn't have to be perfectly fine. So for these chiles, I had 1 jalapeno and I believe it was like 4 serranos. So I cut them up. I left the vein and the seeds and stuff. So then again, I'm just throwing it in there. By now, I'll add some salt. You don't have to. You can do it once it's in the caldo. This is how the chiles are ending up, which they look pretty dang perfect to me. You have to make sure the oil is really hot before you start putting them in with egg, so it can end up like this. So this is basically all I add to the caldo. A lot of people do them in like a sauce and that's it. Would serve them with rice, and we do them in a caldo, not like a dish. If you happen to have any of the egg mix left, like I do right here, it's like barely anything, I'm gonna add an egg yolk that had like burst before I separated it. So I'm just adding it. And then we removed most of the oil from the pan. And then I'm gonna add this into it. So I basically do like a scrambled egg type thing. And then once we have the chiles in the caldo, we also add in the egg with the chiles. This is kind of what you end up with. And then I'm going to put it off to the side with the chiles. And then add in the tomatoes, the onion, and the chile. So I add water. And then I'm going to let this boil for a little bit before I add the chile. So once it starts boiling, then I'm going to taste it. Make sure it's good on salt. Obviously, I haven't added really any salt. So I'm going to add salt. And then once it's boiling, it's been boiling, I'm adding the chiles with the egg. The amount of salt that you're going to add to that will be depending on you, on how much salt you want. While you wait for that to boil, you can go ahead and start cleaning up your mess. Especially the dishes. I hate doing dishes. That's like what I hate the most about cooking. I don't mind cooking, I just do not like the cleaning. You can also prepare you some noodles. Totally up to you. You can wash dishes or eat some of this stuff. So once it's been boiling, I went and added the egg, and then you can add the chiles. So once you added all the chiles, you can just try to push them down, but this was a small little olla, cazuela, whatever. So just press them down a little. And then you'll put on the lid. And then you let them boil until the chile cooks. So I usually let them boil for maybe like 10 minutes at least. And then I'll go ahead and taste it again, just to make sure like everything tastes good. When they've been boiling for a while, you kind of check it. Once it's yellow, the caldo, and then it should be done. So as long as you taste it, it's good, the sal, and taste is good to you, you can turn it off and serve with tortillas on the side, you know. And yeah, that's it.